Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope you are safe and healthy. Congratulations for finishing Module 2. This time, we are down to our last module for this subject. Module 3 is about assessing the curriculum and curriculum innovations. Our talking point will be intended versus implemented versus achieved curriculum. After this session, you will be able to compare and contrast the intended, implemented, and achieved curriculum. As mentioned in our learning outcomes, there are three kinds of curriculum, namely intended curriculum, implemented curriculum, and achieved curriculum. First, let's give meaning to the three kinds of curriculum. Number one, we have the intended curriculum. It refers to the planned objectives, goals, and purposes set at the beginning. Number two is implemented curriculum. It refers to the various activities conducted for the purposes of accomplishing the objectives. And lastly, the achieved curriculum. It is the learning outcomes as measured by learning performances. Before we dig into the different kinds of curriculum, let's identify first the purposes of curriculum assessment for you to be able to connect its relationship with the kinds of curriculum. Now, what do you mean by curriculum assessment? Curriculum assessment is the process of collecting information for the use in evaluation. It is an important part of the system's approach to curriculum development. Curriculum assessment may achieve the following purposes. First, highlight curriculum expectations. Second, gather information about what students know and can do. Third, motivate students to learn. Fourth, motivate and encourage teachers to meet the identified needs of students. Next, provide evidence to tell how well the students have learned. And obtains feedback that helps teachers, students, and parents make good decisions to guide instructions. Going back to the kinds of curriculum, we have first the intended curriculum. It is a set of objectives set at the beginning of any curricular plan. It establishes the goal, the specific purpose, and the immediate objectives to be accomplished. It also answers what the curriculum maker wants to do. There are certain indicators to measure intended curriculum. It answers these questions. First, are the objectives achievable within the learner's developmental levels? Second, can the objectives be accomplished within the time frame? Third, are the resources adequate to accomplish the objectives? Fourth, are the objectives specific and clear? Fifth, are there ways of measuring the outcomes of the objectives? Sixth, are the objectives observable, doable, and relevant? And seventh, overall, are the objectives SMART or specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bounded? Second, we have the implemented curriculum. Again, implemented curriculum is various learning activities or experiences of the students in order to achieve the intended curricular outcomes. There are also certain indicators to measure the implemented curriculum. These are the following. Are the learning activities congruent with the stated objectives? Are the materials and methods appropriate for the objectives set? Does the teacher have the skill to implement the activities or use the strategy? Does the teacher utilizes the various ways of doing to complement the learning styles of the students? Are there alternative activities for the learners to do to accomplish the same objectives? Are there activities provided to address individual differences? Do the activities provide maximum learning experiences? Do the activities motivate the learners to do more and harness their potentials? Do the activities utilize multiple sensory abilities of the learners? And lastly, do the activities address multiple intelligences of the learners? Let's move on to the third kind of curriculum, which is the achieved curriculum. Achieved curriculum refers to the curriculum outcomes based on the first two types of curriculum, the intended curriculum and the implemented curriculum. It is now considered the product. Same with the two other curriculums, there are also certain indicators to measure the achieved curriculum. These are the following questions. Do the learning outcomes achieved by the learners approximate the levels of performance set at the beginning of the curriculum? Are the learning outcomes achieved higher or lower than the objectives set? Do the achieved learning outcomes reflect the knowledge, skills, and attitudes intended to be developed? How many percent of the learners from the same class perform higher than the level set at the beginning? And lastly, do the curricular outcomes reflect the goals and aspirations of the community where the curriculum is implemented? That's it for the three kinds of curriculum. Again, we have the intended curriculum, the implemented curriculum, and the achieved curriculum. Are you learning? I hope you are. If you have questions, post those in our Google Classroom. Also, check out your activities in our Google Classroom. This has been Miss Pretzel Ann Red. Thank you for listening and
take me where you go when the sun goes down like a lightning.